Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of my podcast. Since you guys seem to like the first one so much, why not do a second one? So, I really want to get into the random conversations that I think this whole podcast should be about. I don't want to have just the same topic every episode. I want to make it fun. I want to make it interesting, which is why today we're going to start out with an interesting fact that I found. It is. About 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets each year. That's crazy. That's like when people are like, you're more likely to get killed by a cow than attacked by a shark. Like, those kinds of facts just blow my mind. But anyways, so I asked you guys on my Instagram page about what topics you would like me to talk about today, and I got quite a few saying talk about how quarantine has affected your life and what you're doing in quarantine and all of this stuff. And while I do want to talk about that, I also want to stress the fact that all you hear nowadays is about quarantine and about how people are hating it and all of this stuff. And I kind of don't want to surround this podcast with talking about the quarantine because let's all face it, quarantine sucks. We don't want to be in quarantine. We want to be out doing whatever, getting coffee, going to the movies, going to the mall. And it does suck that we aren't able to go do that right now. But at the same time, you have to think about how important it is to stay in quarantine, because not only are you helping yourself, you're helping others. You're also helping the men and women that have to be out helping the people that are unfortunately sick with this virus that is going around. And by keeping yourself indoors and not just going out and doing whatever you want, it is helping those people so much. But I don't want to keep talking about the quarantine. Yes, maybe at some point I'll make a podcast episode just surrounding that and talking about how quarantine has been for me. But I want to talk about other things. And I'm going to start that with the amazing candle I have burning behind me. It is from Bath & Body Works. It is called Champagne Toast, and it kind of has like a fruity vanilla kind of smell to it. I don't really know how to describe it, but if you like vanilla scented anything, invest in that candle. It is fantastic. I'll probably burn it like once every couple days, and it'll leave my room smelling like that for days. And I have windows open, I leave my door open, I have a fan going, and it still smells like that, and it's awesome. But I found it in a bag that I got when I was Christmas shopping with my mom, because we went there and we bought our own Christmas presents, because, you know, you have to get yourself something every once in a while, and I try not to, like, go spend all my money on myself all the time. Although that tends to happen with Chipotle, which needs to stop. But we spent like over $60 or something, and we were able to get this like gift bag thing, and we didn't open it until like a week ago. And we found that candle and some soap, which is so nice for right now. And it just smells amazing. I'm really glad we found the bag. That's what happens when you find Christmas presents from Christmas 3 months later. But yeah, I just wanted to start off with that because that's an amazing scent. Also, moving on, one request that I got was talking about positivity. That is a topic I never thought I would get. And that's such a great topic because you want to spread positivity. You want to make people's lives better. Maybe I'm doing that with this podcast. I don't know. Probably not. But if you really like podcasts and you like hearing me talk, which I don't know anyone that would like to hear that all the time, but if you like that kind of stuff, positivity is great. I follow an Instagram account called Global Positivity News or something like that. I'll put it in my description. But I follow them, and they put out stories all the time of like just positive things that are happening in the world right now. I'll even give you guys one right now. It's called Global Positive News. It is it's just positive news and tips and stuff like that you may not hear on the news right now or at any time. But there is one like police staged a fake arrest and more so a 7-year-old with cancer can be a cop for a day. That warms my heart. Or maybe let's look at another one. Adopted boy is on a mission to give homes to old dogs that no one else wants to adopt. That's another thing. We have a rescue dog. Her name is Sammy. She is a German Shepherd mixed with a Bull Mastiff. We adopted her probably 3 or 4 years ago, right before Thanksgiving, and I told people that I got a new dog, that we adopted a new dog, and everyone was like, oh my god, how old is it? Is it a puppy? Like, can I hold him in my hands? Like, no, we got an older dog. And she is great. She has the energy of a puppy. She would just sit on your lap. She's like 9 or 10 years old. We don't really know because she was found in the woods. So we don't know how old she is, but she's an older dog. And you can tell because she's got the gray on her nose, which is really cute actually. But people don't adopt older dogs much. They go straight for the puppies, and all these older dogs are sitting in the shelters until they die. And that's really sad. And I really do want to adopt more puppies. Well, more dogs. More older dogs. I call them puppies anyways because they have so much energy like a puppy. They're so great. I call all older dogs puppies though. But people don't adopt these older dogs. I would totally adopt an older dog again. I just had such a great experience with Sammy that I would totally go out and just buy another older dog because they listen more. You don't really have to train them much because you don't have to be like, don't eat that shoe, because they really don't do that. That's more of a puppy trait that, puppies will grow out of. But Sammy was trained really well. You can leave a plate of food on the floor for her and tell her not to touch it, and she won't. Or leave a plate of food on the coffee table, which she can definitely get to. She's a bigger dog. And even if you don't say anything, she's not going to touch it. She's such a great dog. We also think she was a police canine at one point, but we don't know. It's stuff that I wish I knew. That's another thing with adopting, like, older dogs, older rescue dogs, when they find them out in the woods or something. You don't really have, like, a background on them. It's just, like, they get a clean slate, which is better. I like giving new things clean slates, Like, you meet a person, you're not going to be like, oh, I heard things about you. Like, you don't do that. Why would you do that? That's not spreading positivity, and that's what we are about here. We spread positivity, which is so much better for the world. And it's also better for yourself. If you're negative all the time, like, that's so bad. That's really bad for your mental health. Don't do that. That's not nice. But I do think that spreading positivity is an amazing thing. I go to school with an autistic girl named Perry. She's amazing. She sings in the hallway all the time. She has such an amazing voice. She's also running to be Miss Amazing New Hampshire, which is so exciting. The competition was supposed to be on March 23rd, which it got canceled because of the coronavirus, which is sad, but they are hoping to reschedule it, and I will be in the front row cheering for her because I'm so proud of her. But she's spreading positivity all the time. She walks up to me and she goes, "Hi, Jordan, you look great today." That is so nice. I love that. I would love if more people did that. Even if you don't even have to know me, but like, I'll walk up to you, I'll be like, "Hey, I really like your shirt." Like, just saying quick things like that, even if you don't know someone, if you like someone's shirt, go up and tell them. Be like, "Hey, I really like your shirt." And you have no idea how much better you might have made that person's day. Maybe it had no effect on them at all, but it made yourself feel better. And if they were having a really bad day, you might have made their day much better than it already was. And you're going to walk away from that situation being like, "Hey, I did really good. I feel better about myself." Even just waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and being like, "Hey, I look awesome today. I'm going to kill it today. It's going to be great." Even just small, quick things like that is going to help spread positivity much more. If you're more of a miserable person and you put that miserableness, that's a bad word to say. That wasn't good grammar at all, but whatever. You don't want to spread that negativity on someone else because you might make that person's day really bad. And they're going to think about that for a while. You are more likely to think about bad things that happen in your life than good things. I'll raise my hand for that. I do that all the time. I make myself feel bad all the time because I think of bad things. I am an overthinker, which is such a bad trait to have. I mean, it's not. It's a good trait to have. But for me, it's a really bad trait because I dwell on the negative things, which is something I've tried many times to stop doing. And I'm still trying to stop doing that because it's not good for yourself. It's really bad. And, I got depression. I really do. I have been diagnosed with that. It is something I live with. I don't try to let that contain my life. Like, if I wanted that to contain my life, I wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. But this podcast is actually helping me so much more with my depression. I have a calendar right next to my bed that is filled with all my online schoolwork. It is filled with when I need to record a podcast and when I need to post it and when I need to put it in iMovie and edit it. I don't really edit my podcast though. I just do a one take, one through and call it good because, I want to give you guys my real thoughts. I'm not going to go and cut things out because then it's not an unfiltered podcast. I'll just put in iMovie and get my little picture on it and then save it, upload to YouTube, call it good. And just write you guys a nice little description for it. But I mean, just finding little things like that to just help yourself. Like I found recording a podcast helps with my depression. So I'm going to keep doing it whether people like it or not. But I mean, it's helping me. I don't know what else to say with that. But if you find something that really works for you, like some people record vlogs. I have a friend that really wants to record vlogs, but she suffers from depression too. And she was afraid to get bullied in high school for having a YouTube because, some people would be like, "Oh, you're starting a YouTube, that would never work out." Again, don't say things like that. You want to be like, "Oh my God, you're starting a YouTube? Dude, I'll watch it." Like, just say things like that. Sure, you can think whatever you want in your head, but as long as you're not verbally saying that to that person to make them feel bad, just don't do that. Just don't verbally say things to people to make them feel bad. Because then they're not going to like you that much. Let's be honest. But, I mean, I'm letting this podcast kind of control my life right now because it is the best thing for me. And I hope people find things like that in this quarantine to help them. And yeah. But, I mean, maybe, now that I've started talking about vlogging, maybe after we're all out of this quarantine, maybe I'll start that if you guys like that. I mean, I will still continue this podcast because I like it, but maybe I'll start a vlog because it will be summer. I won't be in school as much. I am graduating this year, which, in the beginning of the year was really exciting. I mean, it's still exciting. I'm getting out of high school this year. That's still a really exciting thing. That's a big accomplishment, big milestone. But yeah, of course, things are changing right now. But I mean, I'm still graduating high school. That's how I'm going to look at it for now. And that sucks that I might not get a graduation. But, some things happen for a reason. And that's what I like to think. Some things happen for a reason. Just go with it. What is another topic that people wanted me to talk about? Oh. Someone asked me to talk about food. This is a big topic for me. I love food so much. And, a lot of my friends have been like, the fact that you're not on my 600-pound life is kind of surprising. I eat tons of food. Tons of food. I love food. You know what is my favorite snack to have? Cheese nips. Not Cheez-Its. I mean, I really like Cheez-Its too, but I have to have like the extra toasty ones. The extra baked ones. Those are so good. But cheese nips, they do taste a little more artificial, but they're really good. And sometimes if I have like bananas, I'll eat cheese nips with bananas. Yes, it sounds disgusting, but don't knock it till you try it. Another thing that people call me crazy for with food is I will take like the original Pringle chips, the ones that don't really have any extra flavoring to them, and I'll put cucumbers on them. It, again, sounds disgusting, but I even got one of my friends that watched me at lunch do that. I was like, hey, just try this. Don't make fun of me until you try it. And she liked it a lot. Just, don't knock food until you try it. I didn't ever think that I would like Indian food because I don't really like a lot of spice with my food. But then I went to Florida twice for 2 Indian weddings. Both times I went to Florida, it was for Indian weddings. My neighbor got married to an Indian man, and they had a beautiful ceremony. I mean, I heard about, Indians love to, have big, fancy weddings, and I was like, no way, maybe it's not like that. No, it is. They like to have big weddings, and that is not a bad thing. They have these beautiful weddings. I mean, of course, my neighbor had a smaller wedding, but that's what she wanted. That's what her and her husband both wanted. But then we went back months later to have this big Indian wedding for her sister-in-law. And it was, oh my goodness, it was gorgeous. We were at Daytona Beach, both times actually, which was kind of nice. And they had in the hotel, it was a big hotel. It was one of the biggest hotels I've ever been to, actually, and I don't go to many hotels, so that's not really a good thing to compare it to. But it was a big hotel. They had a nice giant ballroom, and the first day they had, I think we had like a rehearsal dinner kind of, and then a couple days later we had the big wedding, and they had a party outside where the groom rode in on a Lamborghini. I never would have expected that. But the groom rode in on a Lamborghini. Everyone was dancing around it. They had drones everywhere recording everything. Then we had a big dance party outside. They had a DJ set up. They had an open bar outside too. And, it was so fun that there were people just walking on the boardwalks that would come over and just kind of dance with us, which was really cool. And then we all go inside, and they had a little buffet, kind of buffet thing with little appetizers and stuff, and you could sit out there, have drinks if you drink alcohol. I would have just soda because obviously I'm not of age to drink, and so I'd have my soda or something, and you'd have little finger food, which I don't know anyone that calls it finger food, but I guess that's a thing. And then after a couple hours, we went into the ballroom, and they had this beautiful altar. They had fake trees with all these little twinkling lights on it. It looked like, the only way I could describe it to my neighbor when I went with her was when you walked in, all I could see was what I imagined Elsa's castle to look like. They had this nice blue lighting, and everything was really shiny and fancy and so elegant. Oh my goodness. And they had hundreds of people in the ballroom. It was filled with everyone. And then after that, we went out into the hallway again. We had some more appetizers, and they set up for the dinner. And then we had our dinner and the after party and all that stuff. I think we were up until 3 a.m. was when I finally looked at my neighbor, and I was like, hey, we gotta go to bed. I'm tired. But they really did not stop partying until 7 or 8 a.m. And the best part, which I love, was that the groom and the bride actually left the party at 2 a.m. and they went down to their own private room, and they had Taco Bell or something, which was something I would totally do at my wedding. But with Chipotle. I love Chipotle so much. I think everyone loves Chipotle. But it was something I never expected, and it was a beautiful ceremony. But yeah. And I think this is going to be the end of the podcast. So I'm going to leave you guys off with another kind of fact again. So here we go. If you count how many times a cricket chirps in 15 seconds and add 37, you get a rough estimate of the temperature in Fahrenheit. Some of you guys may try that, but I will leave you with that. Have a good day, everyone. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and you could even message me and tell me what you would like to hear in next week's podcast. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.